and welcome to my kitchen. Haven't seen you for a while. Today we're going to be making corn soup with an Asian twist. And I say corn soup with an Asian twist because we're using Asian ingredients like grated ginger and grated green chili. So let's get started. What I have here on the stove, well it's hot, is 9 cups of water. And I've put the stove on high and it's just been boiling for the past little while. Once your water is at a boil, add to it 2.5 cups of peaches and cream corn kernels grated. So I've just used a food processor and I've grated them up. If you can't find peaches and cream corn kernels, any kind of corn kernel will work. I say peaches and cream because they have a really nice naturally sweet flavor, so it would be better. So grated corn kernels, in they go. You probably want to at this point turn your stove down just maybe to medium, because the corn might cause it to overflow. So now all I have in this pot is water and corn kernels. To it I'm going to add, this is 3/4 teaspoon, and some people get confused between the difference between a tablespoon and a teaspoon. I'd like to clarify this because there is quite a difference. This is a teaspoon. This is a tablespoon. One is quite larger than the other, so you know, if you interchange the two, you're going to end up with something that tastes a little funky. So 3/4 teaspoon grated ginger, and this is about 1/2 teaspoon of grated green chili. Of course, this is all to taste. If you like things spicier or more mild, you can always add or take away. And the last thing I'm going to add to this is 1 tablespoon of salt. Now all I'm going to do is leave this on medium, maybe a little bit more, and bring it to a nice simmer. It'll probably take around 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll come back to it. Our corn soup has, well, almost corn soup, has been boiling away. You can really smell the ginger coming out quite a bit, hence the Asian twist. So now this is just a mixture of water and corn and some spices, but in order to thicken it up, I'm going to add some milk with cornstarch in it, and once that boils, that will really thicken. So what I have here is 1 cup of milk. I have 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. So you want to just add the cornstarch into the milk and mix the cornstarch up in the milk. And cornstarch tends to lump and clump really easily, so make sure you constantly stir and try to get rid of all the lumps before you add the mixture in. Alright, so I'm going to just pour this into my soup. I've brought my stove down to about low-medium. And now what I want to happen is I want this mixture to kind of start to simmer well again. So I'm going to turn the stove back up to about medium to high, and just walk away for another 5 to 10 minutes until this is at a constant simmer. Okay, so the corn soup has been boiling away. Originally I had the stove on probably medium to high to get it to a boil, and once it was boiling I turned it down to around low-medium, and it's just been simmering away for the past 10 minutes. And I think we're ready for the next step, because the soup itself has become a little thicker because of the cornstarch, and it just seems a little more unified and put together. So I think we're ready to move along. So now comes the last step. Well, a couple last steps. I forgot to say we want to add a pinch of black pepper too. You don't have to, but I mean, it means well at soup. Soup and pepper go well together, I feel. So just added some pepper, pinch. And now what I have here are 3 spirals of capellini noodles. Usually that's how you buy capellini noodles. They would look like this in the bag, in the form of a spiral. I'm spilling. So I have 3 of these spirals. So I'm just going to take a spiral and crush it in my hand, and in it goes. And I'll do this with the second one, and I am getting noodles everywhere. So maybe the smart thing to do would have been to crush this in a big bowl ahead of time, but that's not very fun. And my third one. And I just have a few extras here, just from the bag. I just dump that in. And mix it up. And capellini noodles cook very quickly. They're so thin. So, I mean, really, you could probably just turn the stove off, put a lid over it, and let it sit for 10 minutes, and they'll cook on their own. But I prefer to, we'll leave the stove on low-medium and just let this boil away for another 5 to 10 minutes, and then we would be ready to go. Okay, so ready for our presentation. The soup boiled for another 10 minutes after I added the noodles, and I made sure to keep it on medium-low, and you want to stir it occasionally to make sure the noodles were not sticking to the bottom. But now it's complete, and I've just ladled some into a nice bowl. And this makes a great kind of lunchtime light meal to have because of the noodles. It's a bit more hearty, or even add to it a sandwich or, I don't know, some cookies, anything you'd like to have with a bowl of soup. So I hope you enjoy, I hope you try the recipe, and happy cooking!